Our narrative commences with a young woman named Bryn Adams, who resides alone in a secluded house, distanced from any neighbors. Bryn is a seamstress, earning her livelihood through her craft. She has no family nearby, her mother has passed away, and she lacks friends. The townspeople harbor a deep-seated disdain for her, although the reasons remain unclear initially. While Bryn is not an unkind person, she carries the weight of an unresolved past that she has yet to forgive herself for. On a typical morning, Bryn is observed meticulously preparing a parcel of clothes to be sent to the post office. After completing her household tasks, she gets ready to leave. Before stepping outside, she takes a moment to admire a miniature model of her town that she keeps in her home. This model holds great significance for her, as it was initiated by her mother prior to her passing, and Bryn has been diligently working on it in her memory. Although a few small pieces are still missing, she approaches the task with affection. As Bryn steps into her yard, she notices an unusual circular mark on the lawn, which appears out of place. Given her meticulous nature regarding her home and garden, this discovery troubles her. However, she dismisses it for the time being as she is already running late. After quickly tending to her plants, she departs in her car. During her drive to town, we observe how she is treated by the locals. They consistently avoid making eye contact and refrain from engaging with her. Whenever Bryn passes by, she is met with suspicion and coldness. She too avoids conversation, preferring to remain in her own world. At one point, she attempts to speak to a young man whom she secretly admires, but he completely disregards her, causing her deep emotional pain. Disheartened, she continues on her journey. After completing her business at the post office, Bryn visits her mother's grave, illustrating her discomfort with town life due to the animosity directed at her and her sense of isolation. As she makes her way back to her car, she spots the town chief and his wife, prompting her to panic and seek refuge behind her vehicle to avoid being seen. Later at home, Bryn composes a letter to her childhood friend, Ma. In this correspondence, she mentions having seen Ma's parents that day, revealing that the town chief and his wife are indeed Ma's parents. Although Bryn frequently writes letters to Ma, she never sends them. It becomes evident that Ma is no longer alive. She passed away a decade ago, and Bryn carries the burden of believing herself responsible for her friend's death. Bryn continues to grapple with feelings of guilt and is yet to forgive herself for her past. This tragic history is a significant factor in the animosity directed towards her by the entire town, particularly by Ma's parents. Later, while sitting in her garden, Bryn receives a long-awaited delivery. Inside the package is the final piece for her miniature town model, a small school building. Elated by the completion of her project, she celebrates with a dance and a drink. However, each recollection of Ma diminishes her joy, leading her back into sadness. In her letter, she confesses that even after a decade, she remains unable to forget Ma or absolve herself of guilt. That night, after dinner, Bryn retires to bed. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a mysterious aerial view approaching her house from an unknown perspective. While Bryn sleeps soundly, the lights in her home begin to flicker erratically. Awakened by loud noises, she looks out the window and discovers that her trash cans have been overturned across the yard. Attempting to turn on the lights proves futile, prompting her to cautiously descend the stairs to investigate. She freezes when she notices the front door standing wide open. Before she can comprehend the situation, she sees a shadow moving inside her home. Overcome with fear, Bryn retreats and soon realizes that the figure is not human, it is an alien. Without making a sound, she rushes to her bedroom and hides under the bed. The alien follows her into the room, heightening the suspense. From her hiding spot, Bryn observes the creature closely as it emits strange and eerie noises. Fortunately, it does not detect her presence and eventually exits through the window, seemingly flying away. This moment underscores the alien's advanced capabilities, far surpassing human understanding. After witnessing this, Bryn quickly shuts the window but then hears footsteps on the roof. In a state of panic, she rushes downstairs to secure the front door. At that instant, all the lights in the house begin to flicker wildly. Terrified, Bryn attempts to call the police, only to find that the phone is inoperable. The alien appears to be manipulating the electricity and everything within the house. It corners her by opening the refrigerator door, forcing her into a confined space. As the alien approaches, Bryn pushes it away and makes a run for it. Just then, a loud crash at the door results in a piece of wood striking her head, causing significant injury. Despite being hurt and shaken, Bryn remains conscious. The alien continues to exert control over the environment without physical contact. In a moment of determination, Bryn manages to grab a piece of wood and strikes the alien forcefully on its head as it drags her closer. The creature writhes in pain before ultimately succumbing to its injuries. Shocked and traumatized, Bryn spends the remainder of the night in front of its lifeless body, unable to move. By morning, she finds the strength to gather herself and first covers the alien's body with a cloth. She attempted to call for assistance once more, but the phone and the electrical systems of all the houses remained inoperative. Considering a trip to the police station, she found that her car would not start. Aware of her bleeding head wound, she decided to take a shower and clean herself up first. After preparing herself, she pushed a sofa against the damaged front door to block it, although she recognized that this would provide minimal protection. She then departed on her bicycle. As she rode through town, she witnessed widespread destruction. Even the house of the boy she admired had sustained damage. She observed the same unusual circular markings in several locations, similar to those she had noticed in her own yard. These markings clearly indicated where the aliens had attacked. However, the pressing question remained: what did they desire from humans? Although Bryn had managed to kill one alien, the assaults had not ceased, suggesting that many more were present. Upon reaching the police station, she encountered Ma's parents. Before Bryn could speak, Ma's mother spat in her face, a clear indication of their deep-seated animosity toward her. Realizing that she would not receive help here, Bryn quietly exited, feeling utterly isolated and despondent. With no one to turn to for support, she resolved to leave town and noticed a bus preparing to depart. However, events took an unexpected turn when the delivery man she had previously seen attacked her. His erratic movements and unsettling noises revealed that he was now under alien control. Something strange appeared to be crawling within his throat, producing sounds reminiscent of an alien. It was not just him. Everyone on the bus attempted to assault Bryn as well. Only the bus driver retained his humanity, stopping the bus to give Bryn an opportunity to escape. She managed to flee and reached a nearby church, only to find the door locked. Adjacent to the church was a graveyard, and she ran toward a specific grave, Ma's grave. At this point in the narrative, it becomes evident that Ma had passed away long ago, resolving the mystery of whom Bryn had been writing letters to. Standing by Ma's grave, Bryn felt heartbroken. The terror from the previous night's attacks lingered in her mind, and this moment intensified her sense of loneliness and despair. Suddenly, she noticed dark clouds gathering in the sky, illuminated by flashes of light. Bryn recognized these as alien spacecraft. In a state of panic, she ran toward the house of the boy she liked, where she heard screams and saw a group of townspeople standing with their hands raised toward the sky. Bryn observed the same peculiar, worm-like entity moving within the throats of the townspeople, reminiscent of what she had seen in the delivery man. It became evident that these were alien parasites that had seized control of the local population. In a single night, the aliens had proliferated and captured numerous humans, transforming not only the town but potentially all of humanity on Earth into their new colony. Bryn hurried back to her home and went directly to the deceased alien's body. She noticed a strange liquid oozing from its mouth, suggesting that something had emerged. Although she attempted to discern what it was, nothing conclusive presented itself. At this juncture, Bryn understood that fleeing was futile. She had to make a choice: fight or succumb. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, she began fortifying her home for a final confrontation with the aliens. She lit several candles and started boiling water, barricading the damaged door with a sofa and curtains while keeping a knife nearby for protection. That night, the nails she had hammered into the curtains began to dislodge on their own, a clear indication that the aliens had returned. Initially, they levitated the dead alien's body and dragged it outside. Meanwhile, Bryn concealed herself in the basement as another alien infiltrated her home. The alien pursued her downstairs. She attempted to fend it off with scissors, but it effortlessly discarded them using its powers. During the struggle, Bryn's hand brushed against old photographs from her childhood and of Ma. The alien seized the photos, examining them with curiosity. Seizing this moment of distraction, Bryn made her escape. However, she was soon confronted by a smaller alien with elongated arms that blocked her path. In desperation, Bryn threw boiling water at it. While it did not harm the creature, it provided her with an opportunity to flee. She ran and locked herself in the bathroom, but the alien began to forcefully break down the door. As she attempted to escape through the window, the alien grasped her legs. Bryn fought back vigorously, striking it with a broom and subsequently stabbing it in the shoulder with a broken stick, pinning it against the wall. She then repeatedly slammed a cabinet door into its face until the alien finally succumbed. Despite her victory, Bryn was not yet safe. Another alien appeared alongside a man who was under its control. The man seized Bryn and dragged her outside. She struggled fiercely but could not liberate herself. The alien gestured toward a spaceship hovering above, and a bright beam of light descended, aimed at Bryn. They intended to capture her due to her previous actions against their kind, which had rendered her a significant threat. The controlled man attempted to pull Bryn into the beam, but she managed to kick him away. He was drawn into the light instead, as the beam was solely intended for Bryn. The aliens promptly released him back to the ground midway through their maneuver, indicating that they had specifically targeted Bryn, who had become a significant threat to them. A large alien then advanced to capture her. Bryn attempted to flee to her car, but the alien had already arrived there. Demonstrating quick thinking, Bryn managed to trap the alien inside the vehicle and set it ablaze. The alien screamed in agony before ultimately perishing. However, the bright beam from the spaceship continued its pursuit. She successfully returned to her home, only to find another alien waiting inside, curiously examining photographs of Bryn and her mother. Bryn attempted to attack this alien, but it was prepared and threw her across the room. Suddenly, a powerful red light filled the house, immobilizing her completely. The alien approached and released a parasite from its mouth, the same type used to control humans. The parasite crawled into Bryn's mouth, causing her to collapse to the floor and perceive what appeared to be a serene, normal version of her home. Everything seemed safe, leading her to believe it was merely a nightmare. As she descended the stairs, she saw her mother standing there. Overcome with joy, she apologized to her friend but abruptly remembered that her mother was deceased. Bryn realized this was an illusion crafted by the parasite to fully dominate her mind. With determination, she forced her fingers into her throat and extracted the parasite, rejecting its control entirely. Upon spitting out the parasite, she returned to reality and hurled it away. However, a light from above illuminated it. Within moments, the parasite transformed into a new entity, a clone that bore an exact resemblance to Bryn. The aliens were utilizing these parasites to create human-like clones that retained all of the original person's memories. The Bryn clone then attacked her with a knife. In a struggle, Bryn managed to seize the knife and fatally wound her clone. Severely injured and too weak to escape, Bryn was drawn into the alien spaceship, where a group of aliens surrounded her. One alien placed a finger on her forehead and began extracting her memories. Through this process, the truth was revealed. As children, Bryn and Ma had quarreled, and in a moment of rage, Bryn struck Ma on the head with a rock, resulting in her instant death. Since that day, Bryn had been unable to forgive herself. She had written countless letters to Maud seeking forgiveness and struggled for years to move forward while grappling with her guilt. After witnessing Bryn's painful memories, the aliens recognized her profound sorrow and regret. Rather than controlling her, they decided to release her back to Earth unharmed. Following this experience, Bryn was finally able to forgive herself as well. She embarked on a new life in the town, where everyone was under alien control yet treated her kindly and accepted her. Even the boy she once admired stood by her side. To Bryn, it no longer mattered that these individuals were not truly human. Her world had finally manifested as she had always desired, peaceful and welcoming. In the sky, numerous alien ships indicated that Earth had been entirely taken over. Perhaps Bryn was the last true human remaining, just as she had always envisioned. Her world had become exactly as she imagined from the outset. The film ends.